When a single photo from the Group of Seven summit went ultra-viral this weekend, the hardest of President Trump's hardcore fans were presented with a, let's call it a challenge. For millions of people, the photo released by German Chancellor Angela Merkel's office perfectly captured the relationship between Trump and the rest of the world. The president's counterpart stood over him, glowering, while he sat defiant in his chair. Trump's eyes stare blankly ahead. Amy B. Wong wrote for The Washington Post, his arms are crossed in front of his chest, revealing below them only the length and wayward tendency of his tie. Within hours, she wrote, the image was being likened to fine art and held up as a symbol of the president's isolation. And all this happened before Trump left the summit early, insulted Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Twitter and essentially disavowed the entire visit, a man alone in his chair. Or, alternatively, and hear us out, Trump was no less commanding and dignified at the G7 than he is at the White House. He showed our foreign allies whose boss and departed the conference bathed in the glorious light of victory. The fake news lied to you. That's more or less the take on the Trump internet, the hard-right forums and social media accounts whose limitless praise of the president makes your average episode of Fox. On Reddit's the Donald Forum, and in the words of Will, Trump won the G7, the way he wins everything. But, you know, it's the internet. So photos or it didn't happen. It's hard to advance a narrative to common wisdom when half the world is passing around a picture of Trump looking like a haughty schoolboy in Principal Merkel's office. The Trump internet made a few early attempts at photo apologetics. Trump fan Jack Posobiec applied an oil painting-like filter to the German photo, which made Trump look more regal and somewhat lessened the stunned look in his eyes. The photo is composed to show Trump's dominance. Thomas Wichter argued on Twitter. Standing and gesturing is what people do when they lose control. But those arguments only spread so far. With a German photo inspiring comparisons to the paintings of Norman Rockwell, what the Trump internet really needed was an equally powerful image to show Trump's power to the world. On paper, this seemed like an easy task. The viral G7 photo was a single moment shot by a single photographer among many. As Fabian Reinbold pointed out on Twitter, just shifting the camera perspective radically changed the tone of the image. One scene, 4 different perspectives. He's not even visible in most, due to his decision to sit, and even the official White House version, bottom right, above, creates the impression that Trump is very short and everyone around him is laughing. Fortunately, a dogged Trump fan found just the right counter photo in the Facebook feed of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, whose photographer must have been standing next to Merkel's and shot this moments before or after. And what a difference! Compare it to the German version, and it's almost like a find the difference puzzle. Merkel no longer dominates the composition, but leans off to the side, almost hunched. Abe leans over the table, intently listening to Trump, who is either speaking to Merkel or past her, either way, a man in command of the room. Naturally, this photo began to spread across the Trump internet. Trump running G7, Xcharoda wrote beside one of several copies that surged to the front pages of the Donald, the version they didn't want you to see, declared Miltone 314. A sort of caption contest played out in the comments, with the deflated-looking Merkel becoming German Hillary, defeated by Trump. In other corners of the Trump-loving internet, devotees took a different tack. Rather than trying to counter the unflattering viral photo, they ignored it, choosing to focus on even less flattering images of Trump's rivals. Trudeau, in particular, became a target. The Canadian Prime Minister had, after all, hosted the summit, and particularly enraged Trump by criticizing U.S. trade policies after the president left. The Trump internet countered by making fun of the Canadians' eyebrows. Actually, making fun of maybe too weak a term, at the same time that Trump's deer-in-headlights photo was going explosively viral around the rest of the world, certain pro-Trump posters were convincing themselves that Trudeau wears eyebrow wigs. The Washington Post does not claim to vouch for the authenticity of the video below. It may be doctored, it may be real. We present it, nevertheless, for the sake of posterity, as the Trump internet's response to their hero's unflattering candid shot. World, meet Justin Trudeau fake eyebrow falls off after lying. More reading, everything you need to know about Trump's big envelope from Kim Jong-un and the hope for world peace. The U.S. is trying to find a discreet way to pay for Kim Jong-un's hotel during the summit, fits neatly inside a lizard's cloaca. Scientists are leaving Amazon reviews, and it's amazing one space between each sentence, they said. Science just proved them wrong.